What's up, guys? We're back. The red light is on. I'm Dave Van Auken. My guest today, Bare Knuckle FC, undefeated. Took a short notice fight a couple months ago in boxing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The man has no fear. The Royal, Ryan Reber. My man, what's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on, man? I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, brother. Likewise, man. Been wanting to talk to you for a minute. So let's get right into it first. We'll go backwards in a second, but couple weeks away, Bare Knuckle FC 47. Huge fight, brother. Huge fight in the bantamweight division. You're undefeated. Travis Thompson's I feel like this word is almost negative, but I don't want to use it in a negative way. A gatekeeper, a really great fighter. Oh, you got me?
Yeah, I almost lost you.
All right, all good, all good. You know, Travis Thompson, really tough guy, gatekeeper, fought everyone in the in the bantamweight division. Great fight for you. Let's just talk about it. How excited when you got his name? Take me through. Big opportunity for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, they threw it at me, and we had a couple of different options, not many.
Okay.
And out of everybody in the division, man, right now that fight makes the most sense. I mean, we both seem like we wanted it. It was kind of weird, man, because he stayed with me during training camp last fight when we were both on the same card. He reached out to me and I opened my home to him and my gym. And, he kind of did his own thing down in St. Pete while I trained a little bit more north from him. And, when he left, he called me up right away and he was like, "Hey, man, we might be able to get a fight in the works." And, at first he was kind of like made it a point to where we were friends. We wouldn't be fighting. To now, if the money's right and the situation's right, we might be fighting. And I mean, at the end of the day, man,
Right.
Look, I'm in this thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this thing for me, man, and in mine. So, whoever they put in front of me and whoever makes sense, that's what we got to do, man. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am.
Yeah, it's a great fight. It really is a great fight. I'm kind of intrigued. If you want to say, if you don't want to say, I totally get it. Who else were you kind of maybe offered or talked about? Oh, maybe lost you again. Yeah, your phone's blowing up. Everyone's trying to get
busy.
to you.
I'm busy this morning. Let me take my. There we
Okay.
go. Let me do that. We're good to go now.
You good to go?
Yep.
I'm kind of intrigued about. Were you offered a couple of different names, or can you elaborate on that? Who were you maybe offered, or
Yeah. So Alvarez, me and Alvarez kind of chopped it up, and that was going to be going too. And I told Alvarez, I said, look, bro, at the end of the day, I'm sure we're going to meet up. You know what I'm saying? I said, but as of right now, that fight don't make sense to me. I'm trying to make it make sense. I said, for you, that would be a title fight. I feel like, you know what I mean? If he gets somebody, let's say like, Jared Grant, the number one guy, you know what I mean? They fight it out, and then I get the winner of them, after Travis. And, it's not to say that I'm overlooking Travis by any means. I'm not. I know what I'm in for with Travis, but I also know how hard I'm training for this, and it makes a big difference. A big difference, bro.
That's funny you said it's. So you're saying, do you think you definitely need one more after Travis, or do you think
I think because in this bare knuckle game, man, you can't train for it. You know what I'm saying? It's go time when you get out there. So all your muscle memory, all the stuff you're working on, that's when it shows up underneath those lights. So, I don't know. I think after Travis, it's go time. It's time to get paid, and it's time to, it's time to, fight the number one guy. The number one guy, I should be the number two guy. We should get it on, and it should be for the belt. Whether Reggie stays or he goes. I mean, Reggie was in, commenting on one of my videos a couple of days ago, and he was like, "Oh, you look good, bro, but you still need to move. There's levels to this shit." Well, we'll figure out what kind of level there is to this shit when I'm, on the other side of that ring with you. And you got a game plan until I punch you in the fucking face and you're bleeding, and you got to switch your game plan up. Because the one thing about me in this is I'm accurate, I'm fast, and I possess a lot of power for a little guy. So I took all those things and I fine-tuned them. I got with Dave Mundell's personal trainer, Nick. outstanding guy. And I mean, they're really fine tuning not only my power, but my stability, my mobility, all those things I kind of lacked in previous fights, and just chipping away at all the things that all my faults, really.
Isn't it crazy? I did see that on your Instagram. A great follow, by the way. I suggest everyone to go give you a follow for sure on IG. It's amazing when you kind of get in the game and you got so many things going on in life and all that, and all of a sudden when you really try to take it to the next level, it's like, wow, like I was fighting like at 50%, like I was unlocking. It's almost like a video game. Like you start playing a video game, you start unlocking so many things, and at the end, you're defeating the boss because you got all the levels unlocked. It's crazy when you start unlocking so many things and you start getting
especially your true potential. And I think that's what, as fighters, any true good fighter will probably tell you the same thing. You never figure it out. It's like the game of life. I don't care if you're a conspiracy theorist, if you're a realist or whatever it is, and you're trying to because that was me at one point in time, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on this earth realm. And guess what? The wise man once said nothing because the wise man really knew nothing. I hopped out of politics. I hopped out of the bullshit. I didn't give a fuck if Trump was coming to save the day or not no more. I'm worried about me and my energy, and I'm not going to let anybody steal my louche, man. I see the threads where they're talking shit, and Travis is going to do this, and Travis, if you're going to do all this shit, why did it take you so long to sign the contract? Because I know it wasn't just the money. You know what I'm saying? I know it's more of a risk for him than it is for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming into this as the number 5 guy. He's the number 2 guy. He's got all the experience. I'm the sort of new guy. But what a lot of people don't understand about me is I've been in this fight game for 20 years. I've been doing this shit. So the energy, the universal energies, is I feel like it's behind me. As long as I'm doing what I need to do, as far as the training, the work, the mental work, all that stuff. I got a certain criteria of things that I do in order to prepare for war. And, like during that game bred boxing shit, I had none of that. I mean, I'm literally smoking weed, drinking beers that weekend. I get a call from my manager and he's like, look, man, you got to take this. And I'm like, no, I don't got to take this. And I shouldn't take this. And I know I shouldn't take this shit. But God damn it, it's such a big card, a great opportunity. And I'll tell you the worst thing, man, is for people like my coaches and friends and my manager to believe more in me than I believed in myself at that moment. But like I said, there's a certain criteria of things that I have to, do in order to be successful in the fight game, whether it's meditation, obviously cutting off drinking and smoking, getting my head right. So to put myself in that situation, a lot of people think, okay, that's Ryan right there. That's who he really is. No, motherfucker, that ain't even remotely me. And the only thing it really did is it really brought more confidence out of me, because I'll tell you what, man, nobody would have took that fight. Nobody would have took that fight. And I took that fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what, man? Screw it. I'm gonna take the fight. I'm gonna throw the dice up in the air like I normally do. And unfortunately, I didn't roll that 7 or 11. So it's all good, man. I went right back to the drawing board. But people got to understand, too, boxing and bare knuckle, yes, it is bare knuckle boxing, but it's two totally different things, bro.
Totally different. It's like a different sport.
The distance, the timing. I mean, I went into that fight, and it was like, it really was like I knew nothing. I was like, what the fuck, man? And I just kept feeling like this dude's going to time my jab. He's going to hit me with a 4-piece and clean my clock on live TV. And I'm going to sleep. I'm like, nah. And that's where my mindset was. I was like, fuck, man. And I couldn't shake that shit. I couldn't shake it. And I let it get in my head, and I let it defeat me. And I beat myself that night. He didn't beat me that night. And that's why I keep telling my manager, Shane, I'm like, listen, Shane, we get an opportunity. I don't give a fuck if I'm the B side or not. You get an opportunity to put me back on one of those shows. First off, they owe me a fucking favor. Second off, put me back on there. I don't care if I'm the B side, the C side, the D side, whatever they think, because it's up to me to go out there and perform at a level that I need to perform at. And they ain't going to catch me lacking again. They ain't catching me on no 4-day notice shit. I've had months to train for this, and I'm taking it very fucking serious.
I want to get back to the bare knuckle in a second, but I do want to on that card. Like, it's crazy. I know a lot of people saw it. The ratings were insane. The numbers were insane on it, and I know you did hit on it, but I kind of want to hit on the backstage of it. Ryan, how crazy was it? Like, just walking through that hotel, right?
Oh my
Or that
God!
arena.
Listen, man.
Tell them about it.
It brought tears to my eyes, man, because I grew up watching these dudes. I grew up watching Anthony fucking Showtime Pettis on MTV. What was it? True Lives. I'm an MMA fighter. You know, back in like 2000, what, maybe 10, you know? And ever since that show, I was like, man, I'm going to follow this dude. You know, and I followed him since WEC. And I mean, I was honestly I'm a mixed martial artist, you know, before I was even a boxer. So, you know, I followed a lot of those guys. And then, of course, I grew up watching Vitor Belfort, the youngest, you know, champ. And then, you know, Jeremy Stevens, you know, watching him get clowned by fucking Connor. You know, everybody knew him for that shit. And plus he was, you know, a great fighter on top of that. You know, so I got to be around that energy. I got to be around those guys. I got to cut weight with them. I mean, I literally cutting weight with Jeremy Stevens. I look over at him. And you know, there's a bunch of mist going on. I'm like, is that fucking Jeremy? And I look over at him and I was like, who the fuck is that guy? He fucking looked over at me and we started laughing. I was like, nah, I'm just kidding, bro. Don't beat me up. You know what I mean? And he starts laughing. I start laughing. I was like, you know, I had to hit you with that shit, though. And he started, you know, we chopped it up and he was super cool. And, you know, you know, I'm not really a fanboy, man, but there was a couple of dudes that I wanted to take pictures with. Anthony Pettis, obviously, being one of them, and Vitor Belfort. And I got him right before we had to leave the hotel that night, which was a fucking zoo. You know, they had us leaving at like 3 a.m. to be to the airport by 6. And I had to pull an all-nighter, man. You know what I mean? It was just, it was crazy.
It was crazy. That lobby was packed all night. I got there like the lobby like at 1:30 or 2 after the event. It was just like everyone was there. It was like pizza and crap. That shit was crazy. But all right, back to bare knuckle. So you said, I know it's kind of funny because I remember hearing some commentary on you that you had some amateur kickboxing, you had amateur MMA, and that's where you came from. So what got you into bare knuckle, you know, FC? What got you into bare knuckle boxing? What was that origin of it?
Well, so I mean, it's sometimes the universe throws things in front of you, man, and you either gotta take it or you gotta leave it, man. And I was training at a gym in Tampa, and Kevin Smith was bringing bare knuckle guys in and out of that gym. Right. And they approached me like, hey, bare knuckle's coming here to try out. You should try out. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you should try out. And I was like, for what? I'm not trying to do no bare knuckle shit. I don't know nothing about this. And he's like, it would just be good publicity. You should do it. I was like, all right, man. So Dave came, and it was actually the Lorenzo Hunt tryout with Lorenzo, and Gene Herrera was also at the tryout. And I tried out, and Dave pulled me to the side and was like, I like you. What's your why? And I said, whoa. I said, first off, bro, one of the biggest things is I ain't going to lie to you, or I ain't going to lie to myself. I was like, that man had me try out, and I was like, all right. So I did it. I said, but I don't know nothing about this. And you could tell, man, you could go back and watch it on YouTube that he even kind of says something along the lines of, we had 2 guys we really wanted, but they were not sure. So we rolled with Lorenzo and Gene. And not to say that I was picked before him. I think they were already going to have Lorenzo. He just showed up at the tryouts anyway. So they really wanted other guys other than them because they were already going to get signed. But, you know, like I said, I wasn't going to bullshit myself and put myself in a situation to where I'm signing multi-fight fucking contracts with a company I know nothing about. Right. I kind of let it marinate. And Dave told me, he's like, if you ever want to do this, you holler at me. I was like, all right, cool. So then I kind of got away from it for a little bit. And this was like, I think 2000, I want to say 18 or 19. Okay. And, you know, I stayed away from it for a little while. And once again, I ended up in St. Pete Boxing Gym where Keith Thurman trains and Winky Wright. And I was training, and then here comes fucking Julian Lane. I'm like, yo, I said, let me bang? He was like, what's up, man? And we kind of hit it off immediately. And, you know, he was such a cool ass dude and had such a great energy, and, you know, was he was plugged in with the fight game, and he kind of started talking about being a manager and wanting to manage fighters. I said, you know what, bro? I said, I'm gonna be one of your first fighters. I said, I'm gonna let you manage me, and I'm gonna fight in bare knuckle. He's like, nah, you ain't gonna do that. I said, bro, I'm telling you, I'm already in that shit. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get in, and the rest was history. I linked up. I seen, I put it in the universe. I said, listen, all I want to do. I went to one of Julian's fights down in Miami. I said, all I want to do is run into Dave and tell him I'm ready. And that's exactly what happened. I ran into Dave in the lobby around 3 a.m. I was like, yo, Dave. He looked over at me and kind of gave me this stare like, who the fuck are you? And I walked up on him and Nelson, and he was like, oh, yeah, I remember you. You're Julian Lane's boy, the one that didn't take my contract. I was like, nah, man. I was like, nah, don't look at it like that, bro. I said, listen, man, I had to pay attention. I said, but I did all my homework. I said, put me in there, coach. I'm ready. And he fucking got with Julian. They got me my first fight, and the rest is history, man. I hit the ground running, man. So, hats off to Julian Lane for, helping me out, plugging me in, and, being a fucking genuine friend like he is. I mean, if I need anything from this guy, man, I call him up and he's, a phone call away, and he'll hit me up and he'll give me advice, and he'll you just help me out, and he's a knowledgeable guy to have around, especially in the fight game.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome, man. Like, I love the vets kind of passing it on to the next generation. That's great stuff. All right, I got something fun for you. I got 3 high-level bare-knuckle bantamweights. The first thought that comes to your head. All right, you ready? Dat win.
He's a busy guy. He's a busy fighter.
Jarrett Grant.
Jarrett Grant's smooth, man. He's slick. I like Jarrett.
Reggie Barnett.
Reggie's old.
I like that. All right, there we go, man. Ryan, man, I always love talking to you. I had a great time, chilling with you a little bit in Milwaukee. I can't wait. Lakeland, it goes down July 14th. We're around 2 weeks away. It's crazy. 3-0 in Bare Knuckle FC fighting Travis Thompson, like you said, 5-2, a big fight in the bantamweight division. Anything left? The floor is yours. Anything you want to push, sponsors, plugs, anything? Take it away, my man.
Well, of course, man. I got to shout out my guy at Gorilla,
yes, sir.
Taking care of me. My gym, Battle Zone, my coaches, Bo Hill, James Battle. I got to thank Nick Ruiz. That's my personal trainer, man. He's getting me right for this camp. The boys over there at Shift MMA, another powerhouse gym. You got us all fighting on that card. We're right here out of Florida, man. And, I appreciate everybody who shows me love, man, wants to support me, wants to buy tickets, any of that, man. All that good energy, I look to give it back, man, and I appreciate and love all of it.
Awesome. Right, man. Cannot wait. We'll be out there, all right? We'll see you in Lakeland in a couple weeks.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your time, man.
Of course, brother. We'll talk soon.